Well, it's that time of week again.
It is indeed.
Coffee chats. This
One
time
of
I
these
got a
days,
takeaway.
one of these days I will have a coffee, but I'm stuck with the washer again today.
So listen, we've covered over the last couple of weeks a lot about LinkedIn, and I think hopefully our clients and our listeners, our viewers will be able to get a lot from it. We've covered how to do static content correctly. You've looked at posting and getting wording right, a lot of the visuals right. What are we going to cover today, Kira?
Yeah, so as you said last time, we kind of covered creating content in different fonts and text and colors and things like that. But this week we're going to be focusing on the different posting categories. So what I mean by that is everything you post, it should have a meaning. I mean, if you think about it, even your personal posts, they have meanings. Like it gives you a more human aspect and shows more personal side to yourself. And basically what we do is like to split them into five main categories. So you have your awareness posts, consideration, comparison, conversion, and retention. So I'll just give you a brief explanation now of all of these, because it can seem like a lot when they're all set together like that. Once you break it down, it's very simple. So awareness posts, they're aimed at making people aware of your brand and your key offering. So they're essentially, a loudspeaker. You're shouting and telling everyone that you're here and this is what you do. And I suppose just something to bear in mind when creating awareness posts, you always kind of want to include your logo or your brand colors. So people kind of just start associating, you and your brand. The consideration posts are aimed at people who they know what you're about, but they're starting to think about why they would need your particular service. So these posts they would probe at problems that people have and that you can solve. So, just for example, if you're having IT problems, we can help you, or, kind of probe at the problem and kind of offer some kind of solution. Next, you've got your comparison posts. So they are for people that are in the market for a service such as yours, but they need to know how and why you're the best choice for them. So whether it's, price, quality, whatever it may be, why are you better than your competition? Conversion posts are aimed at people who are ready to make the choice, but just need a little push. So if you kind of think about it like a call to action post, so you could pitch something. For example, you're offering free consultations this month, or you're hosting a webinar, and just something that they can join in. And after they've done whatever you're offering, they'll see how beneficial you are to them, and it will just give them that little push then to come to you and avail of your services or your product, whatever you're offering. Okay. And finally, retention posts. These help retain your current customer base. These are kind of nice posts, where you showcase some of your current customers or talk up essentially the type of service you provide. So that's just a basic breakdown of the five main categories. But as I mentioned, you have your personal posts, your success stories, achievements, and I suppose it's also good to keep in mind, particular days that are celebrated. Like I think last week it was Earth Day, and it's important to incorporate those kind of posts in as well.
They make it a bit timely.
That's it, exactly. Yeah, if even Easter wasn't that long ago, things like that, just to kind of celebrate those kind of things, keep up with the time and what's going on. So that's kind of basically the types of posts anyways. I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
Well, just to allay fears, I guess there's going to be a lot of people listening who say that sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah.
Do I have to categorize everything and writing all these posts? What am I going to do? But yet, when you go on to LinkedIn, people do it very naturally, don't they? They post really naturally.
Absolutely. Like, as I kind of mentioned in the last video, as long as, your product or your service or whatever you're offering is something that you're passionate and informed about, these posts will just kind of come naturally. It's just kind of being aware of the different kinds. And I suppose even being more aware yourself when you're scrolling through LinkedIn about the posts that other people are posting and what they're actually trying to get from their posts and essentially from you. So I just think it's good to be aware of the kind of posts that are out there. And if you are, starting a new business, for example, you're like, okay, well, I'm going to go quite heavy on the awareness post at the start because I'm starting a new business. I need to build my awareness. So it's just kind of important to be, I suppose, aware of those things.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess if people are listening to it, they can really delve deep into all of these categories, because posting awareness posts, that's, you can be excited at different parts of your business journey, and you can make your clients aware of that, or your audience aware of that, if you like. There's a lot of different things. You can be nervous, apprehensive, you can be worried about where you're going, all that sort of stuff. To bring them into an awareness post, I think creates a good human side of how you're posting. So that's all interesting. Okay,
Definitely, yeah.
so,
Sorry.
so you give us the all the topics again in major headline,
Sorry.
just in headings. Can you give it to us again?
Okay, so awareness, just a loudspeaker. Consideration, why people need you. Comparison, why you're the best. Conversion, what can you offer to give people that push that will just commit to you. And retention, if you've got it, flaunt it. If you've got happy customers, happy clients,
Yeah.
things like that, just tell people.
Okay. Okay. That's great. That's great. And can you give us any tip, Kira, on, again, people planning ahead or anything? Would you advise people to write up their content maybe at the start of the week, or at some time when they have time, and then to dip in and out of it?
Definitely. I think, you never know how busy you're going to be. So if you have, a spare day or a spare hour, set aside some time and just make a blast of different posts. And you know what, you might not use all of them, but it's
Mhm.
still good to have there, on a particular day, you might be like, do you know what, I'm going to put up this post today. What I like to do is I like to create a big batch of them. I schedule them all, and then I kind of check up on them every couple of days. And if I feel like I could maybe change something or improve it, or maybe that would be better for a different day, I just swap it around with something else that I've created. Like once I make the big bulk, I don't really have to be stressed about making it, because it does take a little bit of time. It doesn't take a load of time, but I mean, I suppose you have to think about, are you gonna stick with the same colors every time, different colors, and it's a bit of thought and creativity. Like you want to think about what kind of things you're going for. Do you want to use, squiggly lines or zigzags, or bright colors, whatever you're doing. It does take a little bit of time to create those things. So I would absolutely recommend, setting some time aside and just creating a load of posts. And you can always add to it if you want to. Like I said, you might not use all of them, but at least you kind of have that little kind of basket of posts ready, say, that you can just kind of pick from if there's ever a time that you are pushed for time or anything like that.
Okay. And I suppose, just, we're in the era of everybody being their own individual personality. So bring your personality into the thing. You don't have to put on a suit and act like a.
Oh, absolutely. So that's what makes it fun, and makes you stand out. You kind of want your post to reflect you and your individuality and your business or your brand or whatever. And I suppose, I think I mentioned this in another video, but just something to bear in mind. Just again, when you're setting, when you're posting things like that, just make sure that it looks good on both your laptop and on your phone, because you never know what people are going to be looking at LinkedIn on. A lot of people will just check it on their phones, and sometimes when you set something on your laptop, it might not fit properly on the feed on your phone. So that's just something
Okay.
to be aware of then. And I know, as usual, we're talking specifically about LinkedIn, but I mean, these categories, they can be applied across all forms of social media,
Sure,
Instagram,
sure, sure.
Facebook, whatever. So although we're talking specifically about LinkedIn, I mean, it's not limited to LinkedIn. This is something that you can, take across all forms of social media everywhere. So that's just something to be aware of as well.
Kira, I think you've done it again. A great coffee chat.
Thanks a million,
Thank
Rob.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
We'll chat again soon.
absolutely.
So long.